Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of MIT. This is a mentoring recovery support group. Today, I want to share some information dealing with addiction, recovery, and so we're going to touch on a little bit. Before I get into everything, my name is Craig, and today's title, I'm going to put it, it's going to be strolling at the bottom of the screen, life skills for recovery after addiction treatment, right? And so this is very important that we talk about some life skills. A lot of times, I know for myself, being in addiction, a lot of times we forget a lot of very important aspect of how to cope with life situations, dealing with life on life terms, the ups and downs, and all that comes with it. And so a lot of times when I was in my addiction, responsibility wasn't my focus at the time. Being committed, being honest, integrity, all those things was something on the back burner of my lifestyle during that time. And so I know if there's some people who experience some similar things that I have experienced, then you may be able to relate to this information of life skills for recovery after addiction treatment, because there's a lot that we have to relearn or learn and get rid of some old habits and behaviors and be more of the mindset of doing what's going to keep us moving forward as opposed to going back. So today's article is brought to us by greenhillrecovery.com. And so let's get into today's topic. We have the title, what is today's topic? What are life skills? All right. The article says life skills are incredibly important to develop after addiction treatment. Not only will these skills help individuals succeed in daily life, but they are necessary for living an independent life. Life skills cover a broad area. These skills are important for performing nearly every task in daily life. They can be as a mundane as learning how to tie a shoelace to as essential as proper communication and interpersonal skills. Typically, life skills are defined in 6 key areas. All right. And what are those areas? And so, according to the World Health Organization, these areas are like life skills include number 1. Hey, Raquana. All right, welcome back. Welcome back. How you been?
I'm good.
You good? Okay,
Yeah.
good. Glad you're able to join us. All right, and so we're going to be talking about life skills for addiction recovery after addiction. And I am someone who is in recovery from a lifestyle of using uh, substances, whether it be alcohol or drugs. And so these life skills that this article, the 6 of them, that this article wants us to be focused on, and that is communication and interpersonal skills, creative and critical thinking, problem solving and effective decision making, self awareness, assertiveness, and self control, resilience, and the ability to cope. And I know these are some tough topics of life skills. However, once we get into the definition of what they entail, they begin to unravel what they truly mean. Okay, this article says while this list is not an exhaustive list of skills, all these traits are important to be able to live independently and be successful during recovery. To avoid relapse, it is important to take all these skills into account and reflect on one's strength and challenges. Right? And so a lot of times people may wonder, how can you get across to someone who may be struggling in their early stage of recovery? It's oftentimes stated we meet people where they are. We build upon the strengths and we focus on the weakness after we build upon the strengths. And so this article also be helpful. It may also be helpful to talk to a mental health professional to identify any lagging life skills. All right. And so that is another aspect that we want to talk about. All right. Next topic of discussion. Can you see that on your screen?
No.
You can't see that what it says, why are life skills important for
Oh
recovery?
yeah, I see it.
You see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And so I'm just making sure that you're able to see it and follow me along the way. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So why are life skills important for recovery? Although refraining from using substances is the most obvious steps in an addiction recovery, there are several other steps that the individual will have to go through to avoid relapse and proceed with the necessary process. To fully recover from addiction, the individual must reflect on the past issues that may have impacted their addiction from the start. Once these life skills and potential issues have been identified, the individual can attend therapy or work with a mental health professional to start to redevelop these skills. What are these skills? Number one, personal life skills after treatment. After treatment, individual must learn to develop personal life skills such as number one, communication, empathy, and interpersonal skills. These skills are important for repairing past relationships, maintaining past relationships, and developing new relationships. All right. And so those are some life skills: communication, having empathy, and interpersonal skills. And that includes repairing past relationships, maintaining past relationships, and developing new relationships, right? The next one is self-care. This one is very important because it relates to a lot of areas of our lives when it talks about self-care. How's your self-care, Raekwon?
My
What
self care is good.
your self-care is good. Okay,
Yeah.
good. I like the sound of that. What are some of the things that you're doing for your self-care?
Um, I go get my hair done, go get my nails done, go out to eat,
Yeah,
just take
yeah.
myself out.
Okay, okay. Now that's external. What do you do for the internal uh, self-care? What do you do? Construction.
Um, I like listening to music.
Okay, okay.
I just got this new book that I'm gonna read.
Yeah. What's the name? Do you know the title? Do you mind sharing the title?
Um, Hold on, I gotta get it.
Well, you don't have to get it. Yeah. But if you want to, I didn't want you to get up and, but that's good. All right. Well, as long as you're working on the external and the internal, that's very good. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get on. Let's see what the article says about self-care. It says, while it is a buzzword, self-care is one of the most important activities that anyone can partake in to feel good. Self-care can be as simple as going for a daily walk or taking some time to oneself. But the key is that the activity is something that the individual enjoys doing. And so from the sounds of things, you enjoy taking care of yourself. And that's is very important. The third one is having daily routines. Daily routines can help maintain life skills. For that reason, it is important to establish every team that works with an individual schedule and make sticking to it a priority. Number four, managing stress. This is a big one. All right. It says because stress is one of the leading causes of relapse. Sometimes we go through stuff and become frustrated. I know when I was in my stage of addiction, the little thing would just bothers me, would irk me, you know, it would get on my nerves. I remember working at this job. I was really real young at this time. And me and the manager, we got into it. And number one, I would come to work already been smoking marijuana. And I didn't, me not thinking, the smell probably was already on my clothes, but me and him get into it, and we arguing in the middle of the floor. And the little thing would make me so frustrated that I thought I needed, something to calm me down. So I would, on my lunch break, I would go smoke. On my break, I would go smoke. But I had to learn that I have to be able to deal with frustration and situations more calmly and more effectively if I want to be successful in my day to day. Because now I'm much older, I got family, I got responsibilities, so I just can't fly off the handle, think that I can just do things my way, and I have to be able to accept and respect those who are in a place of authority. Did that make any good sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so because I had to grow into that. It didn't come overnight. It took a while through a lot of ups and downs, but I hope I'm doing much better at my older age. So it says managing stress because stress is one of the leading causes of relapse. It is important to use coping mechanisms to properly manage stress. Additionally, an individual must be able to identify when they are feeling stress and locate potential triggers to properly manage that stress. The next one, emotional control. This is something I had to work on and develop as well. Emotional control is important to maintain not only relationships but oneself. Substance use harms executive functioning, which is an individual's ability to control impulses and manage themselves. It would take time to regain control of one's emotion, but self care and stress management are great ways to do so. All right, let's move on to the next topic of discussion. Can you read that one for me?
Important life skills needed after rehab.
Important life skills needed after rehab. The article says while many life skills involve being able to cope with stressful emotions and manage one's stress, other life skills involve tasks that help the individual live independently and without the assistance of others. Some of the other life skills that will likely be needed after rehab include the following: finding a job, right? So when I came home after being incarcerated and going through a treatment program, I found that I had to find a job. And so that's something that part of my experience of life skills after rehab. Finding employment post rehab can be difficult. However, some rehabilitation centers will help in applying for jobs and resume writing. This is so true because I didn't know nothing about resume writing. I didn't know nothing about interviewing skills. I didn't know nothing about communication. I had to learn these things, and someone had to teach me, and I had to be willing to allow someone to teach me. And so, those are that is something very important. Next one, managing your finances. This is something else I had to learn. Managing one's money is important to achieving independence. Some of the aspects of managing one's finances include opening a big account. They didn't say a small account, it said open a big account. Wow, what that looked like. A savings account, paying off debt, and learning to live on a budget. I know everybody like to look fly and look, outstanding. Sometimes we have to live on a budget. Next one, home maintenance. It is important to maintain one's home. Home maintenance does not necessarily mean learning plumbing or electrical work, but simply that the individual must learn how to clean a home and make sure that all appliances and systems are operating safely. This next one, cooking. Now, this ain't my favorite, but I don't mind eating a good meal, but I'm not the best of cook. Now, I know you have a family. Now, if that's something you enjoy doing, cooking,
Yeah,
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 all right. Now, the holidays coming up.
I know.
Uh, yeah, so there's gonna be a lot of cooking going on. All right, and so as the holidays come around, we also like to stay focused on reminding people that during the holiday season, a lot of people are stressful for whatever reason. It could be because of the loss of a loved one. It can be because of people invite them over, and then there may be beverages, alcoholic beverages presented, and people may be partying or celebrating the holiday. But we want to be mindful that just because it's the holidays doesn't mean that we have to partake in it. We can have a good time. And so for me, I had to learn that not drinking or using drugs, I can still have a good time. I thought, I'm gonna share this with you, Raekwon. I thought I couldn't have a good time without at least indulging in some type of alcohol or drugs. I thought that was for cornball. I thought that was for corny people. Oh man, how you gonna be at a party and you not partaking And I sadly mistaken, that behavior cost me bad consequences. So now I said, let me replace that behavior with something where that the consequences doesn't mean negative. The consequences can be positive. And so I can have a good time. I can go. I just have to refrain myself from certain events, certain people, because I know that can be a trigger for me. I don't know, so people have to make their conscious decision. What are their triggers? What are the triggers and that may affect? So I don't want to get too far off on cooking. So cooking and understanding nutrition are important skills for living a healthy lifestyle. I tried to be a vegetarian at one time. I did it for a while. It didn't work. I like me, I eat lean meat. I don't certain things I don't eat, and so that's my choice. People each is on to what people want to eat. I don't knock them. Life skills for recovering addicts. What that look like? While many treatment centers will offer group discussions and treatment sessions that discuss life skills, the recovering individual must understand the best ways to remain in recovery and avoid relapse. When it comes down to the definition, life skill training has its base in self-care and recognizing potential triggers. Avoid risky situations because relapse can occur if the recovering individual sees people or passing places associated with past substance use. That individual should avoid any tempting or risky situation that could compromise their recovery. Develop coping mechanisms. Many people first turn to drugs and alcohol to cope with stressful life events or situations, as the ones I made mention earlier. Someone in recovery should figure out which coping mechanism work for them. The coping mechanism could be as simple as taking the time to participate in deep breathing or removing oneself from the situation to go for a walk outside. So let me ask you a question, Raekwon, real quick. When you
Yes.
are when you are in a stressful situation, how do you handle stress? How do you manage stress?
Um, Sometimes I go off, sometimes I don't.
I like that. I like that. You kept real. That's right. We human. We sometimes we go off. We got the vent. All right, go ahead. Yeah. Yeah. Give me
Sometimes I just cool off, sometimes I go to sleep.
I didn't hear the last part.
I said sometimes I just cool off, or sometimes I just go to sleep.
Yeah, yeah. All right. And so that's cool. That's good. Long as whatever works best for you, long as it's not doing something that will hurt or harm you or anyone else. So there's all types
Yeah.
of techniques. There's all types of ways that we can. Sometimes uh, I'm like you. Sometimes I go off. I mean, um, but I have to be mindful that venting to the point where it can be detrimental to myself or anyone else, there is a limit to it. It's not that I'm just going to go off to a tantrum where there's destructive behavior. It's good to let it out. And sometimes I may go for a walk or get in my car, go for a ride. Um, there's all types of ways to think of positive things. That's worked for me. What is the better outcome that I can bring about in this situation? You know, and we call that positive reinforcement. That's a term that a coping skill that I learned. It's called positive reinforcement. That is replacing negative thoughts and ideas with positive thoughts and ideas.
Hmm.
It's a simple exercise, but it takes time to work on. Like I said, I like your response. It's so on point. You know, sometimes we have to vent and go off. That's a way of expressing ourselves. Next one, that is manage stress and emotions, figuring out how to identify one's emotions and interpret them is a difficult thing to achieve. However, when someone is recovering from substance abuse, they can reflect continuously on their emotions and how emotions impact their behavior. Once the emotions have been identified, it's easier to employ a coping mechanism and figure out a way to remove the stressor. Develop a routine. Developing a healthy routine can be a great way to assist in recovery by sleeping well at night. That's a good one right there. Maintaining a healthy diet. That's another one. Getting physical exercise, something I need to do. Employing self care. The individual may be able to reduce their likelihood of a relapse. Next one we want to cover before we are done, and that is sober living can include a set of life skills. Mm. Let's see what that says. Living in a stable alcohol and drug-free environment can be a crucial step to recovery. However, this environment can be difficult to find. Many individuals choose to go to a sober living facility as part of their recovery. Sober living is a safe place where an individual lives with other people who are also recovering from substance addiction. Now, I know you've never experienced none of that, but most of the people that we deal with here at Capital Recovery Center, sometimes they need assistance with sober living because they may not have loved ones who can assist them. Maybe they have burned their bridges. What I mean by burning bridges, maybe the family members is to the point where they don't trust them to be in the house because of whatever relationship that they went through. But we assist people who may go through treatment, residential treatment, first detox, residential treatment, and then they may not have a place to go. We assist them with sober living funding. All right. And so that is a way where they can have a stable living environment without alcohol or drugs. Living in recovery. All right. Here's another one. Recovering from substance use addiction is more than simply abstaining from using alcohol or drink or drugs. They keep stressing that. Let me read that again. Recovering from substance addiction is more than simply abstaining from using alcohol or drugs. Recovery requires continuous growth, change, and an improved sense of self. Additionally, living in recovery means that the individual needs to continuously reflect on their actions as well as their impacts. It is vital to note that living in recovery is for life. It is not something that the individual will simply stop. It is a continuous process. Being able to ask for help. A lot of people are prideful. They don't want to ask for help. Oh, I got this. Nah, it ain't me. I ain't, I don't have no problem. That's where pride come in. But sometimes we have to swallow our pride and be able to ask for help because people will help you if you need help. Being able to ask for help is an important life skill itself. And it is also a great way to help avoid relapse. Identifying triggers and relapse warning signs is one step closer to managing substance abuse, but it is not complete with being able to ask for help. Additionally, no one should be afraid to ask for help. And living in a sober living facility may give the individual the courage to reach out if they need more support. Accepting personal responsibility. This is something very, very important that I had to learn. And the article says, even for individuals who do not struggle with substance use, accepting personal responsibility is a difficult task. As part of self awareness, being able to accept personal responsibility for actions and reflect on the reason for those actions, as well as the impact that the action had on others, is an incredibly important skill that is needed for recovery. All right, the next one, and that is substance abuse support group, something like this one you and I are interacting with. Partaking in substance abuse support group is a great way to help promote life skills and self-care because the members of the groups are engaging in discussions and talking about positive ways to manage addictive behavior. The user groups do not only build social skills and camaraderie, but help support an individual as they maneuver the recovery process. And last but not least, I'm gonna let you go, and that is group therapy. Group therapy is where several individuals who share an experience or disorder come together to discuss the challenges that they have faced and the ways they find work well to cope with whatever they're facing in life. Group therapy can help this member develop social skills and work on communication. Individuals need to be taught life skills to prevent further substance use or to give them the skills to avoid harmful decisions that impact not only their lives, but those around them. Life skill training is an incredible important aspect of recovery and should be a part of all treatment plans. All right, and so that's it for this week, Raekwon. I'm glad to know that you're doing good. I'm glad to know that you're taking care of yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
keep coming, keep joining us. And great things are going to happen in your life as long as you stay focused, okay?
Yep.
All right, that's it from for now. Until next time, I'll see you, okay?
Okay.
All right, bye-bye. All right, everyone, that's it for this week of our MIT Men in Training Mental Recovery Support Group. Today's segment was on life skills for recovery after addiction treatment. And we went over a host of very vital, important topics. And so I hope whoever was watching this, I hope you may take something from this, share it with someone, let them know that there is a recovery support group that goes on weekly here at Capital Recovery Center. And so we love to have you either come into the office or there is a link. In order to partake in the link, we would need one's email address. All right. And so if you know someone who are not comfortable being in a group setting in person, they can always join us via uh, email. Once we receive your email and you say that you're willing to partake in these virtual recovery support group meetings, it's basically a hybrid. But if you would like to do it virtually, you're more than welcome to do that as well. Until the next time, my name is Craig. Take care of yourself, love on somebody. I'll see you on the next one. All right.